It's a neighbor by me with Blue Collar Homes, and today I'm going to talk about the F word, foreclosure. With the market change and a lot of the pandemic money running out, stimulus is going away, there's going to be a lot of changes coming to the market. Now, I'm not saying we're going to go through a 2008 foreclosure crisis with millions of people without homes, but there are going to be some people who lose their home to foreclosures. And I want to run through three scenarios of people who didn't take my advice as a professional and decided to go with their own way. They either kept secrets, were ashamed, didn't come to accept reality, and they didn't prevent a foreclosure from going on their record when they could have done it. So the first scenario is somebody who I just saw the advertisement. The local sheriff said it was in the paper, their home was going on foreclosure, and I decided to reach out to them like, hey, listen, I see you getting ready to lose your home. I think it's a nice place. I think there's some value here, and you have about 4 months before they sell your house off. I'm willing to give you $10,000 to walk away. I'll take over the home. I'll get the house back in order, and I'll be able to sell it. You won't have to worry about a foreclosure on your record. You walked away with some money. And their response, surprisingly, was, who told you about this? They were defensive. They were ashamed. Instead of looking for a solution that I was bringing them, they decided that they wanted to get on the defensive. They tried it on their own. 4 months later, their house was gone. Did they get the $10,000? No. They have a foreclosure on their record, and now it's going to be more difficult for them to buy a home. And that's because they didn't want to take the help that came to them. And that's what Blue Collar Homes here is. We're professionals. We got great resources, great advice. The next scenario was it was an online ad lead that came my way. And he had a home, and surprisingly, it wasn't his first mortgage that had the foreclosure. It was an association. So a lot of people don't know that if you don't pay your association dues, the association can foreclose on your home. So this guy we met maybe two months after the foreclosure auction had already happened. I'm like, let's get this house sold. We're still in the redemption period. We have an opportunity to sell. During this process, he played around. He kept delaying. He didn't want to tell what was happening. He didn't want to tell the truth. So maybe a week before we go on the market, he says, hey, guess what? The house is foreclosed on. The association is taking it back, and now I can't sell. And I just couldn't understand that the auction had already happened and you didn't come to reality that the only way to save yourself is to sell. It's to tell the truth to your real estate professional. That is what we are here to do, to help you, to save you, to get you out of your situation if we can. And it was a shame just to see the guy ended up living in his car. I mean, who wants to live in their car when you have an opportunity to save yourself from the big F word, foreclosure? The last scenario, which is so amazing to me, is I had another couple. They had a nice house. They had kind of let it wear down, but it was a beautiful home they had. And they decided they didn't want to make their mortgage payments for years. Not a couple months, for years. And in the end, they just would not accept the fact that the house had to be sold, that they had to leave. So I presented them with a great offer off market before we went live. They would walk away with around $70,000, $80,000. They said, no, we need $100,000. This is after they hadn't paid their mortgage in years. They didn't take the offer. As the months go by, the market's slowly going the opposite direction, as we all know right now. And then they got offered $20,000 to walk away. They still didn't sell. They're like, oh no, that's not enough. We're gonna do it our way. Now they're at the point that they're underwater. The house has been foreclosed on, and now they're likely to be in a shelter or sleeping on a friend's couch, when all they had to do was listen to Blue Collar Homes and the real estate professionals and advice and experience that we got. So my big tip is, if you are going through foreclosure, if you think you have a short sale, if you think you're behind on your payments, just reach out to us. We got great advice. No contingency involved. We can help you get your home sold or point you in the direction to somebody who can. A neighbor manual, EXP.